Welcome to this episode of Wine 01. We're going to explain what is wine quality and we're going to link that to the magic 2% that we discussed last week. Let's go into it. So let's review some of the aspects that are really important for wine quality. We have origin, this is the place where the grapes are grown, and the concept of terroir. These are elements that man cannot affect in that particular origin. We have the type of grapes. We have viticulture. Viticulture will be the management of the vineyard throughout the growing season, and winemaking. Winemaking, it's what we discussed in the episode last week, converting the sugars into alcohol. So for origin, I'm using this picture here. This is California. California is a wine growing region. San Francisco will be in the middle by the coast, left. And then I have this little red dot up in the upper part, which is Napa. So the whole California will be a wine growing region, but then in wine growing regions throughout the world, there will be specific places, specific origins that are known to be the ones that have the best potential for the best quality of wines. Napa is one of them throughout the world. So Napa will have a given terroir like any other place in the world, where the soils are really important, whether they're stone, rocky, sandy, loamy. It will make an impact and a difference in the final wine. The elevation, whether we're in the floor of the valley or we're hillside, this is also really important. Heat, we need to have a certain amount of accumulation of heat throughout the growing season. And rain, irrigation, really important. The type of grapes, white grapes usually will be planted close to the coast because they need a cooler climate, whereas red grapes are really good for warmer climates, like Mediterranean type of climates. They will be different. You select different places where to plant these different type of grapes, looking for the best outcome, of course. In viticulture, we have a cycle, the growing season, and pruning will be the beginning of it. Then throughout the cycle, we need to make sure that we don't have diseases. We have to control them. If we find any pest, we will have to work on it. And at the end, we need to make a decision when we're going to harvest. The decision of harvest is most of the time discussed between the viticultural team and the winemaking team. The viticultural team will come with a certain quality of grapes, whereas the winemaking team will have an expectation of the grapes that are going to be receiving to make the wine that they're looking for. Yeast, really important in winemaking. The temperature is also another component that will affect the quality of a wine. The amount of time that we leave the juice together with the skins, it's also really important. And we need to make a decision at the end whether we're going to store our wines in stainless steel tanks or in oak barrels. So for the purpose of our explanation about wine quality, we're going to assume that we have a winery in California, in Napa, and they need to have one entry-level wine on the left and one premium wine on the right. The conditions are the same. The origin is the same, the type of grapes are the same, viticulture and winemaking is about the same. So what makes the difference between the wine on the left and the wine on the right? These are the clusters. The clusters of grapes, and at the end, the size of the berry is what makes the difference. The cluster on the left is a cluster that has been irrigated quite a lot compared to the one on the right. So irrigation is a key element to the quality of wine. How is the outcome of these different clusters? So on the left, we will have a wine that has a very light color. There will be just a few aromas, few flavors. They could be very pleasant, but there will be just a few of them. So it's not like a major experience. Whereas the one on the right, it will be much more concentrated. The color is much more intense. There will be plenty of aromas and there will be flavors in much more concentration compared to the wine on the left. So irrigation gives us a different type of cluster, therefore a different size of berries. The berry on the left has been irrigated and it has a lot of pulp. It's full of water and sugars. and the one on the right, it has very little pulp and a much more bigger ratio of skins. So this ratio, skins to pulp, is really important to the quality of wine. The lesser the pulp and the more the skins, the better quality wine that we're going to get. The color, the aromas, and the flavors of a wine are in the skins. This is the magic 2% that we discussed last week. It's in the skins. So the waters and sugars are in the pulp, and the quality of a wine, it's in the skins. This is where the magic 2% is present. Question from last week is being answered. So let's move forward. In humankind, in the universe, science says that there's about 1 trillion aromas that we could pick up. Wine has 200 and a little more. So the smaller the berry, the more the skins, we're going to be able to have more of these 200 plus aromas. We're going to pick a bigger range, the better the quality of a wine. So for the quality of wine, this concept of irrigation and the size of the berries is really, really important. So quality is related to irrigation. Of course, origin, the type of grapes, viticulture and winemaking will be a big impact on the final quality, but they also give identity. Based on the place, based on the winemaking techniques, based on the viticulture, things could be very different, and you will be picking different range of aromas and flavors from those 200 available. So the wines are going to be different, and the origin is making a difference in the identity of the wine. So, and finally, I wanted to explain a little bit what happens when someone that doesn't have experience is tasting a wine compared to someone that has a lot of experience. So for the wine on the left, if we don't have experience, we're probably going to pick up 1 or 2 smells of the wine, and someone that has a lot of experience, that has been involved in wine for a longer period of time, it's going to pick up those 2 plus another 3, maybe 4. And in the premium wine, someone that doesn't have the experience is going to pick up, because there are more aromas, more flavors, it's going to pick up maybe 3, let's say 3, compared to someone that has experience that is going to pick those 3 plus another 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. So in next week's episode, I'm going to explain sensory analysis. This is possibly the most fun part of tasting wine. We're going to do it through the PowerPoint, so I'll explain the concept of sight, smell, and taste, which are really important for the next time that we have a bottle of wine in front of us. We can really start trying to understand and having this concept and further enjoy wine as a whole. So for this week's episode wrap-up, we have the following concepts that we should be remembering: origin, type of grapes, viticulture, and winemaking. We will explain the concept of terroir in one specific episode because this is really important, the elements that man cannot affect in a given origin. Irrigation is really important. Pulp to skins ratio, this is where the magic 2% is. Wine aromas, 2 plus, and the amateur versus expert nose experience. So give me a like, share the video, have more people enjoy and learn about wine in an easy way, and subscribe to the channel so you are updated every time that we load any new information about wine. So cheers, and see you next week.